What's happening, everybody? And today I'm doing a review for the Amber Alert movie, which is on Netflix. If you don't know what an Amber Alert is, an Amber Alert is when a kid gets kidnapped. And basically, this is real footage of a situation that happened in 2009 where a couple of teens and a kid in the backseat of the car was filming. And these couple of teens were going on they were kind of making like a reality show or something like that, and they had the sister, I think, had her brother in the back seat, and he was like filming them for them to like do like audition for like some kind of reality show or something like that. So what happened is they saw an Amber Alert, and all of a sudden they realized that the Amber Alert they saw, and they saw that vehicle on the freeway, and so they started chasing this vehicle down in pursuit. And it was kind of a real messed up situation, and it was just, they were trying to chase down this vehicle. And the question comes at the end of the day, is this film that is of an actual two teenagers chasing down a vehicle, is it actually any good to actually watch? And the answer is absolutely 100%. This movie is awesome. However, the reviews on the internet will tell a different story. They will give this movie a 4 out of 10, or there's people out there that gave this movie 8, 9, 10 out of 10. It's getting a lot of mixed reviews. It's really one of those types of movies where literally you either love it or you hate it. And it just so happens that I loved this movie. However, though, there are some things that I have to discuss, though, about this movie that's on Netflix called Amber Alert. That said it came in 2012 when it's footage of something that happened in 2009. I really recommend to watch this movie on Netflix because that's actually where I saw it. Apparently you can watch it on Amazon. I don't know if you can watch it on Hulu or not. You might be able to. Not really sure. If you can try to watch this movie first, because, like I said, it got some mixed reviews. So either people loved it or they hated it. So it kind of got mixed reviews. So before I say any more about this movie, here's my recommendation. Watch the movie first on Netflix called Amber Alert, and then come back to this video and hear what I have to say. I really don't want to spoil this movie in any way, shape, or form, but I'm going to say all that I have to say about this movie. I really would hate anybody to miss out on watching this, essentially an 80-minute thriller that's real footage. I really would hate to spoil this in any way, shape, or form, so I'm really not going to say anything more about this. I just recommend anybody who has Netflix to go out of the way and watch this movie. And then come back to this video and then hear what I have to say about this, okay? Because unfortunately, what I have to say about this movie will spoil it. It's not necessarily spoiling the actual plot, but it's just that there's some spoilers about this thing, and it doesn't really spoil the whole plot of the movie. But my recommendation is to watch the movie first, because it would, if I was to tell you right now what's going on with this movie that they put on Netflix, if I was to tell you what's going on, this would deter you from watching this, what I consider to be an on-your-toes thriller that is really amazing. So my recommendation is watch this movie first, then come back and watch the rest of this video. Okay? So I'm going to give you some time to X the window right now and not look at the rest of this video. Watch the movie on Netflix, come back to this video, and then hear what I have to say. Because if I tell it to you now, you're going to be deterred. So I'm giving you 10 seconds to basically exit your window and not see me, and then watch the movie, and then come back and watch the rest of this video. It was like a big old thing of silence. Anyway, if you've already seen the movie Amber Alert, and now you want to know what it is I have to say, okay. I'm just letting you guys know, spoiler alert here, it doesn't spoil the actual plot or anything, but I have to say this. Here's the deal. This movie, Amber Alert, is 100% fake. Every bit of it, from beginning to end, is completely fake. Everything within the movie is coincidental. And why do I say that it's fake? Oh, well, how did I come to that conclusion? Well, you know, you watch the movie, and the beginning of the movie says this is footage from October 5th or October 4th of 2009, and it apparently appears to be in Arizona. There's just some dead giveaway as far as that's concerned. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, after the climax is over, it says directed by, and written by, and starring these people, and production designer. That's how you know that it's all fake. Now, when I watched this film, at the very beginning, it was like I thought I was really watching something that was real. I saw the footage of them that was them goofing off, and then all of a sudden they're starting to chase a vehicle, and I think all that I saw, I thought everything that I saw in this movie was legit. I really did. Every bit of it I bought into. I thought I really was buying into something that was real footage. The only problem is, it wasn't real footage. It was all staged. And to really verify it extremely more so that it was all fake, at the very end of the credits of Netflix, when it starts showing all the people and the special thanks and the blah blah blah, which, mind you, I give them credit on the special thanks. You know, when they specially thank people, they actually put it in big letters so you could actually see the names of the people that they were thanking. However, when you watch some of these other movies or other things, they always put in small letters for the special thanks. They put in like big bold letters so you could actually see who they were thanking. And I thank every one of those people. I don't know what they did, but I thank them somehow. And I thank the director and the writers and everybody else. But it assured even more to the fact that it said that all the characters were fictitious and that everything was coincidental. So, it just assured it just that much more. Maybe that would explain why the reviews were giving them 4 out of 10, or people were just thinking this was completely amazing. As I am one of those people who thinks this movie is just amazing. One of the most interesting things about this movie is you are literally, and I mean literally, the backseat driver. You're seeing a guy who's driving a Hyundai, and you knew it was a Hyundai because you saw on the steering wheel that it said, Hyundai. And you have this guy that's named Nate, and he's driving a Hyundai, and he basically is like really just kind of just doesn't care. It's like he doesn't want to chase this vehicle. I mean, not that they're really chasing, but he just doesn't want to follow this vehicle. And he kind of is like, he kind of wants to do it, but it's like he really kind of doesn't want to do it. It's like he really doesn't give a shit. He just wants to get out of it. He wants to leave it to the cops, but the cops aren't showing. And then you got this woman to the right of him who is gung-ho, wants to take the initiative to find this kidnapped, what appears to be a kidnapped girl, so I'm not really spoiling too much because this is the beginning of the movie, so I mean, if you've already seen this movie, you already know what I'm talking about. She is realistically gung-ho about this whole thing, and really, really obnoxiously annoying. And she has her brother in the backseat who is supposedly holding the camera, and he once in a while throws in a few words, and you really feel like the backseat driver. A lot of the movie, you're in the backseat of their vehicle, and it's like, if you ever want to know what a Hyundai looks like, now you know what one looks like, because you are stuck in the vehicle for quite a bit of the movie, actually, with only maybe 3 times not being in. There's like maybe 3 scenes in the movie where you're just like not in the vehicle, and the rest of the time you are in the back seat on your toes. You're literally on your toes, and you feel like they're on their toes, and so you feel like you're on your toes, and the whole thing feels like everybody's on their toes like a ballerina or something. Evidently, you are hooked into this thing right from the beginning because you believe that what you are told is something that really happened. Since it seems as though everything is legit And since it seems like there really isn't any plot points to the whole thing, and shoot, they even get pulled over by a cop. There's so much of it that feels so real, not to mention the fact that he blows a red light, and just so much about it feels so real. And because the camera looked like a camera they could have bought at Walmart, it really makes you feel like you're watching a home video. I mean, this is not like watching an AFV video where it's supposed to be something funny. You just feel like you really are in the situation. You really feel like you're in the backseat of that car. You really feel like, man, I wonder what the hell's gonna happen. You're really really on the edge of your seat, and you're really sitting in the backseat of a Hyundai the whole time. And you're interested all the while, even though this Nate guy and this Sam person are arguing like quite a bit, because obviously they are completely different people. I hope they would never get married to each other. You are literally still intrigued by it, because even though they're arguing, it feels so real. It feels like something that could happen to you with somebody. But a lot of people misunderstand the point of why this movie was made, and I hate to give away the climax and everything else, but the whole point of this movie was, really the question and the pop quiz of the day is, which person would you be? Would you be the Nate guy who actually is kind of like, I don't really want to do this, I feel like I'm going to die? Or would you be the girl who is rather gung-ho to the point of risking her life, and, well, hell, everybody else for that matter, just for one kid who got kidnapped? And all the while, the whole thing, like I said, is just very, very to the point of raising the blood pressure. When I got done watching the movie, I was wondering if my blood pressure was actually going to go down. I thought I was going to faint. I mean, I really rarely have found myself in a position such as this, where I feel as though I was really in the situation. And even though when I watched the end of the credits and I was like, wow, this whole thing was fake. And then I watched it a second time, and then I began to realize some of the things that were not right with it. Because the interesting thing is, this movie lures you in, and once you get lured into it, you just completely, it's like it's clouding your judgment. It completely tricks you. It's like, even though maybe some of the acting or maybe some of the ways that something was done just didn't look right, it just flowed. You felt as though you really were in a real situation, even if maybe the way they pronounced a line was a little bit cheesy or something like that. You didn't even realize it, because you were so hooked into the fact that you thought you were watching something real that it was like you just got tricked. I mean, it was like you just completely, like you got brainwashed. You just feel like you completely, like you got hypnotized or something. I mean, that's really the best way I can describe this movie. And that was the thing that was so interesting about this movie all the while. So I apologize for saying all that stuff about what is essentially the spoiler that this movie is actually fake. So I hope that you already watched the movie before you watched all of what I had to say, because I really didn't want to spoil this for anybody. I wanted you guys to watch this movie first and then dissect it how you wish. And there are some people saying that there were some major plot points to this movie. One of the major plot points that they're saying is, why would a cop pull over a vehicle and pull in front of the vehicle? Well, like I said, this is an example of clouded judgment. When you're watching the movie, and the beginning of the movie says that this evidence was raw evidence logged in the police station or something like that, you don't even think about it. I mean, sure, the guy pulled over on the front, and maybe, yeah, it was like, why'd he do that? But at the same time, it's almost like you think to yourself, it's not too far from reality. It's not like it's impossible, because everything feels so real. You feel like you're in the situation, and you understand that a cop and a human and that everybody's just human, and everybody feels like so real to the situation, even though there's not very many people that are in this film. The reality of the situation, everything felt so real. The writing of the way these characters were arguing with each other and the way the emotions were fleshed out in this movie were so well done that, like I said, when I watched this, I really thought I was watching something that was real. And I think this movie is so well accomplished, maybe by the simple fact that it was looking like a real movie that somebody was filming with raw footage. I believe they really have achieved something here that is really, really well done, and I recommend this to anybody, and I probably am going to buy this movie because I thought it was amazing. And I don't care whether it's fictitious or not. They did such an insanely good job on this movie. If this was a low-budget production, and I believe it was a low-budget production, it must have been somewhat low-budget, because there's a lot of, well, maybe not. I mean, I'm sure they had to put some gas in the vehicles, but it really, yeah. I mean, everything about it, the whole atmosphere that is created here is just spectacular. And it is so well done that this is literally an achieved thriller at that. I really enjoyed this movie. And really, I don't have anything more to say about this. This is a movie that makes Hallmark movies and Lifetime movies really, really, really look bad if this was done on a really low budget. And I didn't know any of these actors, and they did a superb job. I think that's part of the reason why the atmosphere was created so well for this movie. Because since you didn't know who these people were because they weren't like famous actors, you really thought it was a real situation. Maybe that was the real catch to the whole thing. And to give certain props, the girl who was in the shotgun, who was being rather annoying and gung-ho, it's her first film. Amazing job. She did an amazing job. Her name is Summer Balesa. Summer, you are amazing. And I think Carrie is like your sister or something who directed the movie. Fantastic. Summer and Carrie, I think, produced the movie, and I think Carrie partially wrote it. Absolutely stunningly great job, guys. I'm very impressed. I think Carrie is a girl's name. I suppose, I don't know if I think a guy could be named Carrie. I'm not really sure. Either way, if it's a woman or a man, whoever did this movie all together, and the whole production crew that put this together, this is amazing. So, I usually would not make a review this long, but I think this is just amazing. And I really believe they fleshed it out, and I was hooked. I think this is an amazing movie. So well done. Good job, guys. I'm very impressed with this movie. And don't listen to those other reviewers that sit there and say, oh, this was a terrible movie. No, no, no. This was an achieved thriller. It had me on my toes. And if it didn't have anybody else on their toes, maybe it's because they didn't really care about that girl being saved. I cared about the girl being saved. That girl who was in the shotgun, who was being rather loud, I was on her side. And the weird thing about this is I was kind of with both of them in a way. I was kind of like the guy driving and being like, I don't know if I really want to do this. But yeah, at the same time, it was like, yeah, I want to do something about this. I really kind of went both ways. And if I was to choose a character who I went more with, I think I went more with the girl in shotgun. I really do believe that. But I also think that realistically, I don't think I would have been as gung-ho as her. But I think I would have really felt like I wanted to do something about it. I just don't think I would have gone as far as she did. I think that maybe I would have gone as far as just before the climax part is how far I think I would have gone. And then I would have said, okay, it's time to go to the police station with the footage. And I think that's what I would have done. So anyway, that's just probably how far I think I would have gone. I'm not going to say anything more about this, guys. This movie was amazing. I recommend watching this movie. Even if you've already seen this movie, I just think this is amazing. I'm probably going to buy this movie. I thought it was just wow. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I hope you guys enjoyed all that I had to say. I'm sorry that I had to maybe spoil the fact that it was all fake, but it really was. I'm only being honest with you guys. I would like to know how much they spent on this movie because it was just amazing. But anyway, that's the end of this review, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later.